So this is how to somewhat protect your drives from corrupting if you install something bad, because sometimes when your computer won't boot because you install something bad, Windows pushes you onto safe mode. However, sometimes you still can't uninstall what you mistakenly installed that's corrupting your drives. So instead what you can do is actually make a system restore point. So every computer should have a system restore point that's done monthly, every couple months, every time something big is updated on your system. So what you do is you click the Windows Start menu, you type in system, and if this doesn't come up, you can finish it with restore. And after you type in system restore, it should say create a restore point. If you click this, it'll bring up system properties, and then it will bring up all your drives that are available for this. Should be all of them. And then there are a couple things you can do. First, you can unlock or use one of your system restores here, but you don't want to do that unless there's something really wrong and you want to revert back to a previous point in time on your computer. Or you can configure, where you configure restore settings. You see, you can determine how much space is used on the disks, and this is for every single one. So if I click drive D and click configure, so far it only uses 1%, 10 gigabytes. Same thing with this one, except this one only uses 9.31 gigabytes, or as the max usage. But the current usage is 11.93 gigabytes. So what I would want to do is probably up this to 2% of my drive and keep that as a system restore. I'm going to check D just to make sure that it's good. So 64 megabytes, 10 gigabytes is good. We're going to check drive E. We're currently using 1.04 gigabytes and our max usage is 10 gigabytes. So we are under our max usage, which is good. We want to be under our max usage. This value has to be less than this value. And then once we do that, we can click create. And after we click create, it will create a restore point for the drive. So we can click create right here, and it will ask for a description or a name. You can call it really whatever you want. I just like to call it update. That way I know, to me the name doesn't really matter because it says right here, type a description to help you identify the restore point. The current date and time are added automatically. So it'll automatically tell you the date. And if your computer is working up till this point, you really just want to restore it back to the previous working point. So for me, my computer is totally fine right now, and we can just call it update. And so if something were to go wrong, if I were to accidentally download something, which I have done before with Aura Sync, and I didn't know about this, and I had to reset my whole drive, or I had to reformat my whole drive. So instead of reformatting your drive, you can create a restore point and go back to it. So we're going to create a restore point for this drive. It takes a couple seconds, so it will display the screen bar going across depending on how fast your computer is, and then it should say the restore point was created successfully. And you can go on to configure, still under your usage, which is great, and then you can go and create a restore point for this one. I'll call it update for this, and then it will create a restore point for this drive too. To be fair, you really only need it on your drive with your Windows install on it, because if your Windows install gets corrupted, then it will be hard for you to really get into your computer. But these other drives might just have something else that will go wrong with it and you can't access it, so it's also good to back up these two. If we click configure for this one, we saw that this usage is still under. However, it's, I think this oh, I thought the usage went up, but turns out the usage didn't go up. So, or this usage went up. For my drive C, it seems like my usage went up here. So what I'm just going to do is move it to 3% to give this protection, or this system restores some room to back up some of the data. And then we're going to go to this next one, click configure, make sure this one's all good, and then make sure this drive has a restore point as well. So we're going to create a restore point for this, and then it's going to load. That way all of my drives have a restore point in case something goes wrong with them, and I can just default back to the previous point where I know everything is working fine. And after that, after you've created all your restore points for all your drives, it says protection on, you can press OK, and then you are done.